Okay, I am your family shrink. I'm not your financial advisor, but I've got some ideas about how to teach kids about money. Money makes the world go round, right? Well, I don't know if it's money that makes the world go round, but that's a common saying, and it's something that we have to deal with in our world. How do we teach our kids about money? I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. We need to talk first about value. So let's consider something. For example, how about this candy bar? All right, what is it worth? What is its value? And maybe those are separate questions, but think about that for a moment. What's it worth? Now, when I ask people in a presentation or a training that I'm doing or here at my office, I get answers that vary a little bit, but they're usually close to about $1. I have $1's worth of quarters here. Okay, so let's see how this transaction might work. The candy bar is the item that will be involved in the transaction. Any transaction has at least two parties. So let's, on this side, we'll put the seller. Okay, this is the person who's holding the candy bar and wants to transfer it to someone else. So on this side is the buyer. The buyer is going to receive the candy bar from the seller. Now, what gets traded for the candy bar? The money. So technically, the money is starting in this hand. The candy bar is starting in this hand. Seller, buyer. They're both holding something. So think about if you were the buyer, okay? You're feeling the munchies. You go into the convenience store. You see the candy bar over there sitting on the shelf. You get $1 in your hand or your pocket. What do? Duh. You trade, right? So you say, hey, I will give you this money for that candy bar. So these two things get to trade hands. See how that works? Now, nothing was created or destroyed. Everything already existed before this transaction, but something just traded hands. Now I want you to think about this in terms of value. What is this worth? Now, it begs a question, but I need to illuminate the obvious to you. To whom? What is it worth to whom? So you, in this example, are the buyer. You're the one that ends up with the candy bar, right? What did you have to start with? You had $1. What is this candy bar worth to you? You paid $1 for it. Okay, most common answer is it's worth $1. That is the most common incorrect answer. It's not worth $1. How do we know that? It's evidenced by your own behavior. You had $1. There was a Snickers on the other side. You compared them. Which one did you want more? The candy bar. So obviously this candy bar is worth more to you than this $1. Make sense? As evidenced by your own behavior. You traded. And there was no force involved. Okay, that's an important assumption. What was this candy bar worth to the seller? Notice the seller had the same choice to make. There's a candy bar, there's $1. It's the same candy bar and the same $1. Which one did the seller want more? The $1. So obviously the Snickers was worth less than $1 to the seller because he wanted to trade as well. So by his own behavior, it's worth less. $1 is the only incorrect answer here. It's not worth $1 to anybody. You think it's worth more, he thinks it's worth less. It'd be kind of like going to the grocery store. We do this all the time. Pretend that you go down to the grocery store, you pull a box of cereal off of the shelf. You see the price says $5. You're like, $5? This isn't worth $5. You take it up front, you slam it down on the counter. This is not worth $5. The clerk looks at it. I agree. It's not worth $5. You give him $5, he gives you the cereal, everybody's happy. It's not worth $5 to anybody. It's worth more to you, less to him. You see where we're going? This really hit home for me when one of my financial advisors and mentors shared with me an example of this very transaction. He was giving a seminar and he asked the audience, does anybody have a candy bar that I can buy basically to demonstrate this particular transaction, what we're talking about here today in this video. And this lady came up, she had one, okay? Yeah, I got one. He said, can I buy that from you? You know how much he paid for this? Just guess. Yeah, $1, right? That's the most common guess. No, more. $5? No. $10? No. Keep going. 20? No. 50? No. $100. Okay, so he's holding the $100, she's holding the candy bar. They trade. Who won? Now you might be thinking, whoa, she got $100 for that candy bar? Yes, she did. What was this candy bar worth to my friend who bought it? As evidenced by his own behavior, he chose this over that. It's worth more than $100 to him. Can you wrap your head around that for a minute? How much is the same candy bar worth, same transaction, to the lady who sold it to him? Obviously less, probably a lot less, than $100. Who won? They both won. If you can wrap your head around that for just a minute. They both won. He told me after the seminar, he said, Paul, I was prepared to pay far more than that. I got a really good deal. What? He could have walked down to the hotel gift shop and purchased the same candy bar for probably $1.50. It was worth far more to him. Why? Well, he knew something that the rest of the room didn't know. And quite frankly, he probably made $1 million off of that. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Understand that the money is not the value. The money is the receipt for the value. Now, why is this important as we teach our kids? It's easy for them to get the misguided notion that it's the money that's valuable. This is the valuable stuff. But quite frankly, it's not. You look at this one, for example, what could you use this for? Well, not much, actually, except in trade. We've agreed that this represents value. It's not value. I don't know, unless you run out of toilet paper or something, there's not a lot that you could use this for, except in trade. So we trade this for something of value. But think about the money as a receipt for value, and then this makes a whole lot more sense. Why is this important? Because the only moral reason that anyone would ever give you this is because you provided for them something of value, either a product or a service, something that they value more than their money. And then the trade is a win on both sides. The money is simply the receipt. You're not even going to keep the money, are you? No, you're going to go trade it for something that you value. And you're eager to trade it for something that you value more than the money. I think that is probably the most important thing that we can teach our kids about money. It's not the money that's valuable. Do you want money? Well, not really. You want what the money can get for you. So to get clear about money being a receipt for value, then if you need more money or want more money, the answer is always the same. Create more value for more people. As you create the value, the money flows in as a receipt. What a service that would be to our kids if we could actually teach them where the real value is. It's in the creation of value for other people. The money comes in as a receipt. So this is one of the best ideas that I've heard in recent times about teaching kids about money. What have you heard? Would you please share some of your ideas down below? Let's share these ideas together.